Hi, this is Ricardo with Merced Window Cleaning, and in this video I'm going to show you how to do a house wash um, in a residential property. So right now we are um, going to start with making sure we inspect the house, look for any potential paint that is peeling, like for example over there in that gutter there is some paint coming off the gutter. So just be mindful when you put water there because it might open more, uh, remove more paint, uh, and it can look worse. So just be careful about it. Take a picture. Anything else you see that it can be a potential problem, um, even before doing anything to the house. So in this case, in the property we have a wind chime, we have the bird feeders and the camera. We have a doorbell, um, and in that side there is an outlet. So anything electrical we are going to cover, uh, except for the light feature over there. But anything else we are going to remove, um, those home decor accessories, and we are going to tape anything that is electrical or even put a bag on it. So here, for example, there is an outlet. um, I'm going to get this much tape, blue tape, that way you don't peel paint from the wall. And just make sure it covers the outlet well. Uh, then I'm going to remove these accessories. To the doorbell, I'm going to put some tape. Just make sure it's not pressing the button. With the ring ring bells, just make sure you put a plastic bag on them. That way you protect the um, even even better. And then for the keyholes of the door, just put a tiny piece of tape like this. That will protect the bleach or the door components from getting corroded inside. It seems like that's all. So now the first step to start with the pressure washing or house washing of the house. You need to make sure the landscape has plenty of water. That way, when the bleach touches the plant, it's immediately diluted. And we do the same thing after we finish the house wash. So it again dilutes the bleach even more. if it's a dry day or week, make sure you put even more water. In this case, the soil is saturated, so it's pretty good with just a quick rinse right now. Now I have connected the pressure washer. I open the water and it's going through this hose to the pump. So here in the pump, um, this is the water source. The garden hose is connected. Normally we can use 50 or 100 feet of garden hose, and then we normally want to use 100 feet of high pressure hose. In this case, I have a 50 feet hose, but for a larger job, we normally use always 100 feet. So in between, there is this tool called the downstream injector, which is like it's a venturi that is injecting soap and chemicals to the water without going inside the pump. That way, it doesn't corrode the interior components of the pump. So right here we have bleach at 10% concentration. I have more bleach that is at 10%, and I'm going to put it right here. So if we have a 10% um, concentration here, out of our hose with the pressure washer, is going to come at 2% concentration of bleach. That is normally pretty good for washing a house, especially if it's stucco. Stucco normally requires higher percentage of bleach, like between 2 and 3%. So if this was a stucco house, we will need to have it here, just like from the bottle in here, and not do anything else. But in this case, this type of siding, especially vinyl, we can do 1% concentration. If it's really, really bad, we can do 2%. That way, cleans up faster. But 1% is normally good for this type of house. So in this case, I already have half of this container of pure bleach. I'm going to add a similar amount of water just so it dilutes to 5%. So it comes out of the hose with 1% mix. And before I add any water, I'm going to add some soap. So for a full container like this, I put 1 cupful of soap. In this case, I already had some in here that had soap. So I'm just going to add about half. And this is just laundry detergent. Sometimes we can use other degreasers, but it's as needed. For the most part, we just use laundry detergent or Dawn soap. So now I'm going to pour the water carefully so it doesn't bubble up as much. that's okay. We can also use a hose. We just need to be careful not to make it bubble up because it will make things impossible to fill. Um, so now, before we start, we need to make sure we have these ones only if like there is entries and we are going to work where people might be walking. In other case, they are not necessary, but just because we are here at the street, I like to put them just so people is aware we are working here. Just leaving enough space for them to walk, uh, and then the next step is just do the same steps in the back of the house. Make sure if they have furniture, if we have to move it, we need to charge them a fee so you can talk to the office. The customer should previously, the day before, uh, the customer should remove most of the furniture, so we only have a few things to move. If that's not the case, we will have to add the moving fee, but you can call the office for that for help, uh, or you can talk directly to the homeowner about it. They probably forgot, but as you get ready, you can communicate that. So by the time you're ready, you can get started, and you don't have to spend time on moving stuff. We also offer if there is something very heavy and they cannot move it, we will help them just as a courtesy. So now I have the water running here through the pressure washer. We want to open the water for about 15 to 30 seconds. In this case, the water is going through low pressure because we don't have high pressure. So it will automatically come with bleach in it. Um, so a better way to start it is if you put this in a bucket with just water. This one has water. So now we can count 30 seconds. And once the flow is consistent and it doesn't have like air, we can get the pressure washer started. To start the pressure washer, you need to make sure it has gas, of course, and you check that right here. You don't want to go over the red mark. Close it and make sure it clicks. Then here it has the on and off button. Then make sure the gas is on. It has a valve right here, so make sure it's on. And then when it's cold, like it's the first time you're going to turn the machine on during the day, make sure it's in choke. And here you want to have it where the rabbit is, all the way right here. So now I'm going to pull the turn on the pressure washer, and if it starts, I'm going to very quick turn this valve to run. uh, if it doesn't turn on, I'll try a second time, and if it doesn't turn on again, I'm just going to start again a third time, but this time it's going to be in run. So let's do. Now I'm going to try a third time, but in run. Now that we started the pressure washer, anytime we have to do something, we need to turn it off if it's going to take us more than 2 minutes. Um, that way, the pump doesn't overheat. If you let it working for more than 2 minutes, the pump, if you touch the pump, it's going to be hot, and the water is going to be hot, and that reduces the lifespan of the pump. So make sure if it's more than 2 minutes, you have to move something. You're going to the truck for something, and you're going to drink water. Make sure you turn off the pressure washer. Now that I'm going to get started, um, I should mention earlier, you need to have some water just in case you don't need any soap. When you are done with the soap, you can put it in the bucket so you are not getting soap solution in your through the wand. Um, so anytime there is also different size of nozzles here. There is low pressure nozzles, which is going to trigger the venturi to work. The pretty much the bigger holes are going to be lower pressure. So either of these two is going to trigger the venturi to suck solution from the bleach container. But even if you have it in the container with bleach, uh, but you use either of the small ones right here, these ones are high pressure nozzles. These ones are not going to allow any bleach to come through the system. So in some cases, even though you are only needing water, the low pressure nozzles come handy. So in only in that case, you need to switch the the venturi or injector hose to the water. That way you are not putting more chemical when you are trying to rinse. Um, you learn that with experience, but if you have any questions about that, we can do more practice. So, now that we are ready to start, we actually need the bleach, and we are going to use uh, the low pressure nozzles so we can apply the soap. So for a single story house, you normally need this nozzle that is more like an oval. For a two-story home, you normally need this nozzle that is more like a circle, big circle. That one will reach a two-story house, and this one is the oval one, big one, is for a single-story house. So pretty much this one is the one we are going to use for this property. And then for rinsing, we are going to use the one underneath, and that's it. So now just make sure the windows are closed, the doors is closed. Make sure you tell the client where you're going to start, uh, uh, and tell them to be careful because any of these bleach will stain your clothes. Also, when doing this work, make sure you have rubber boots so you don't get your feet wet, and make sure your the shirt you are using is polyester, or your jacket that are polyester. Make sure your pants, or you don't mind getting a stain on them, or that are polyester, or some material that doesn't stain. So in this case, we can get started. Okay, so now the plan is to spray the property with soap. It's connected to the soap. We have our low pressure nozzle for single story, and we are going to cover the front of the house with our solution and let it sit for 5 to 10 minutes max, and then we are going to rinse with water. Okay? Right now, I wasn't getting any soap. That was just water. So always make sure you are spraying the soap and not water. So that was water. I'm going to start in the opposite way now to let it dry a little bit, and then I'm going to apply again the soap. Also, make sure you cover the bottom underneath the gutter because that place tends to get dirty. And you will see the bubbles, so that way you know where you have been applying the chemical. That's a lot. When you see a bush like that, just try to go like that high, and then the solution is going to fall as a cascade and cover the bottom, so you don't have to worry as much. Um, from here, you can probably make sure that lower part is covered. Same thing with the windows and the screen. When you see a mat like this, just move it so it doesn't get all wet for the client. Make sure the gutters are completely covered. With areas like that, you can always reach them with the other nozzle. And here I'm just going to make sure I get this part very well. Same thing right here. Now that I finished the front of this property, we can wait 5 to 10 minutes max before we rinse to make sure the bleach is killing the organic matter, any microorganism living there. Um, so now it, it depends. If this was a larger property, I will probably be doing the right side of that property. Uh, that way, when I finish the right side, I can be rinsing the front and leaving the right side set for 5 to 10 minutes. The time I'm going to take uh, cleaning, and just continue doing that with the back and then the left side of the property. Uh, so now we're just waiting 5 minutes and we're going to get started. Okay, so an important thing to mention here is that whenever you see a handle, door handle that is, it has like a black matte paint, uh, that handle can get stained with bleach. So in that case, we are not going to um, spray them with bleach. Same thing for the door. When they have like a blue, light blue, dark burgundy, pretty much any color that has like a matte finishing, those doors get stained with bleach. So the way to avoid that is getting the door wet with just water, the same hose we use for the. Right now I have it the pressure washer, but it's good to have a second faucet connected to the garden hose and spray with water, plenty of water, or even our pressure washer. Instead of doing the soap, just put the high pressure nozzle. Make sure you wait 10 to 12 seconds to make sure you are not getting any bleach, and then rinse very well. You can use a soft brush to brush the door if it's dirty, and then make sure when you are spraying bleach, just go around and try not to make anything drip on that door. Otherwise, we are going to have a problem of a stained door, and it can be expensive. So in this case, this kind of door, it's okay to do the bleach, but you will know when you see one. And in the jobs, we're going to show you how they look.
Something that looks like this, especially those handles, is something that bleach will stain. So a door like this, we want to spray it with water first, and then around in the siding, we probably will just use water, just to avoid any bleach to touch this material, or it will stain. And after we finish applying any bleach closer to this spot, we will go back and rinse again. So before and after, just to make sure any bleach gets diluted. Another example is a wooden door like this. This one definitely you want to soak in water first, and then probably the walls are close to this door will not be treated with bleach. Just regular water, and that's it. That way we don't have any bleach touching this door. And same thing, like after we finish applying any bleach, we will rinse again for a second time the door. These are very popular doors, and these ones get stained very easy. Maybe not this handle, but the type of door, the finishing, is very characteristic of something that will stain. So here it's kind of tricky because there is a gutter on top, and you have to treat the whole gutter so it looks even, or otherwise the bleach will like do some whitening to the gutter. But if we don't apply on top of where the door is, it will look like darker. Not necessarily that is dirty, but it will look different. So we want the gutter to look even. So in this case, we will again like soak with water, like spray it, and then apply really quick the bleach evenly on the gutter. Then go back with just water to rinse the anything on this door, and then just normally rinse the gutter and anything around. So here, probably next to the where the windows are, that part of the siding, will not get bleached just to be safe. This is another example of a modern looking door that will get stained with bleach if we don't pre-wet this door and handle. Yeah, same thing. Spray it with water first. Do any application of bleach around, but I will not do like this side and this side with bleach just to be safe. And even if we do like this window and on the right side with bleach, I will still go back a second time and spray this door with
So now we can start rinsing the house. It's been already 5 minutes at least. So let's get the pressure washing started. Now we have here the high pressure nozzle. Let's make sure it's water what you have right now. All the system has bleach. So if you spray for 10 to 12 seconds, you will start seeing any bubbles. That means it's water. I'll show you. After 12 seconds, it should be just water, as you can see. There is no bubble. And if you got any bleach like I did in the lawn, make sure you rinse with plenty of water. That way the bleach gets diluted and it doesn't affect the plants. I'm going to start rinsing in the first spot where I started. So that would be right here. And always start from the top to the bottom. over there where the paint is falling, just be careful. Do it from the part. You just want the water there. Never get too close to the property, even with this nozzle. Or you can chip the property or remove paint. So now I'm going to reach that part, and I have the high pressure, the smaller nozzle that I showed you previously. If I feel like I'm not touching the property, just get a little bit closer or find another angle. But never get too close. You cannot feel that you're getting close right there, and that can actually feel some pain. So don't get too close. Switch it to your other nozzle and finish up. Here I didn't reach very well, so I'm going to clean underneath very fast. Okay, now what we can do to finish up, we can either use our garden hose, either our garden hose or the pressure washer to rinse the plants. Now we can use the uh, low pressure nozzle, but make sure it's connected to the water, and make sure you wait about 12 seconds. Look, you probably some of the salt that was in the hose. Make sure it's just water because it's a low pressure nozzle, but it's water, so it should be all water. Now just rinse the plants very well. If by rinsing you get anything on the wall, just make sure you rinse it again before you move on. Okay, now that we have finished rinsing the property um, and water the plants, we can either continue doing the right side, the back, and the left side. It's going to be the same process. For a larger home, you probably, in some cases, are going to have to move the pressure washer, find another faucet, or it could be that you just move the pressure washer using the 50 feet that you have of hose. So that would be the next step if you were going to do a larger property. But in this case, now it's complete, and we can start closing the water first. You close the water. You can release the pressure that is in this hose. Detach the wand. That way, it's going to be easier to remove all the hoses over there if you detach the wand. While you are doing all this, just make sure the hoses are not on the way in a manner that somebody can trip. Um, Finish up removing the parts right here. Some of these components are hard to remove, so with experience you will know how to do it. So once we arrive to the business, the office, we can add some WD-40 in this part. Same right here, and in the hose, so it lubricates and protects this mechanism, so it's not very hard to remove. Um, Same thing, we can spray the pump and all the metal components of the pressure washer to avoid from rusting. We now remove the garden hose, and we can start putting away our tools. All right, now that we have finished house washing, the next step will be to clean the windows. So we always encourage our clients who ask for a house wash to do the windows, at least the outside. Otherwise, if we leave the water to dry on the window, on the glass, uh, they are going to have some drops of water that are going to dry. That water has certain amount parts per million of salt, and when it dries, you will see marks like water spots. So it's not a big deal the first time, but if you do that several times, especially if the homeowner likes to hose the windows with a garden hose, uh, the salt starts building up, and with the sun it bakes, and then it makes it very hard to remove. So we always encourage the customer to at least do the outside windows. Make sure in your order in House Call Pro or the CRM we use, we have the exterior window cleaning or inside and out, and then do it, because it's rare, but sometimes we just do the house wash and they want to do the window cleaning. So just make sure it's in the order. But from now, the next step will be to clean the windows and wash the screens. So right now we are all done. We can take any after picture. If you took some area that is very bad, it's always good to take a picture of that before, and then in this case it wasn't worth it. But if you want, actually the property next door, we can compare and take a picture. And you can also send to the homeowner, then complete the job, make the checklist, make sure the pictures go to the homeowner first, and then um, that way you get the review link at the end. Uh, Make sure everything is done. As the homeowner, even if they move the furniture themselves, as if they want help moving anything back, just sometimes they are glad you ask because they have something really heavy that needs more than one person to move. So small stuff like that helps you with tips. Also getting the review, so you get your commission. Uh, so that will be all for now. As long as the windows are done, make sure everything is done. As the homeowner, even if they move the furniture themselves, as if they want help moving anything back, just sometimes they are glad you ask because they have something really heavy that needs more than one person to move. So small stuff like that helps you with tips. Also getting the review, so you get your commission. Uh, so that will be all for now. As long as the windows are done, we're ready to go to the next job.